Niki Rapattoni here, speaking to you today from my office here in Westlake Village, California. It's an honor and a privilege to be chosen as the 2020 Chaffey High School Alumni Tiger of the Year. My husband had this honor in 2010, and he gave his speech, the baccalaureate service, in the Gardner W. Spring Auditorium. And I wish we were there today, but due to this pandemic, of course, we're not. And so I'm speaking to you via communication, via video. You know, things were so different back when Andy and I went to high school. Not completely different than you have, but different than today. And today we're making history. I am really sorry that you have had all of your graduation plans and parties and all of the things that are so exciting about the end of your senior year canceled. I hope you're finding ways to enjoy yourself and make a new type of graduation. You are making history, and we have no idea what's coming in the future. When I was thinking about this speech and what I would say to you, it's really difficult. I don't have a crystal ball to look forward to see what life will be like. But I will tell you that my husband and I have lived by a slogan that he saw. It was a phrase, a quote that he saw as a young person, a high school student. And we've lived by it. It's from every adversity comes the seed of a greater benefit. And we are in an adversity right now, but there will be great things that come from this. It always has been true, and it will be true. We don't know what's ahead of us, but we know it's going to be different than life it is today. So what do I talk to you? How do I encourage you? What do I tell you that will make you feel good about going forward? First of all, I'm just going to tell you some things that we've lived by through our years of being together. My husband and I were married 55 years. This is our 60th anniversary year. We were in business together 45 years. It's the 50th year of Rapattoni Corporation. And we're still sweethearts, even though he's been gone for 5 years. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that we have lived by and hope that you will appreciate and get a little bit of a joy out of. The first one is something my grandmother said to me from the time I was a little kid. Make your bed. What did she say? I said, make your bed. And the reason this is important is because it's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning, and it'll set your day for the rest of the day. You will accomplish something. And I knew I had to be true when I heard Admiral McHaven give a fantastic speech to a graduating class. And he talked about boot camp days, becoming a Navy SEAL. And the first thing they taught them was to make the bed. And they had to do it over and over and over again until they got it right. And of course, they all hated it. But he realized later, as he took on all kinds of fantastic medals and accolades, that the Navy wasn't stupid. They trained them to do the first job in the morning to accomplish to the very best of their ability. And if you do that every day, every other job you have will be another accomplishment, but you will have already done one. And as he laughingly said at the end of his speech, which is true, then if you've really had a lousy day and you go home, at least you have a really nice bed that's been made by you. So make your bed. It's going to set your day. The next thing I hope makes you chuckle as well, it's wash your car. Again, what did she just say? I just said, wash your car. Now this comes out of an experience that Andy and I had. I decided sometime in high school that I wanted to be part of the medical dental world, so I set my sights on becoming a dental hygienist. There were very few of them back in that day, and my dentist had to explain to me what they really were because we didn't even have one out in Ontario. But I knew if I wanted to go, there were only 3 schools. Loma Linda took 25, USC took 40, and San Francisco took 10, and that was it. So I planned to go to USC because it was close. And I put in my application, and guess what? I got accepted. Well, when I got accepted, Andy and I looked at each other and said, how are we going to do this? We both had 2 years of junior college. Now you're going to go. And his positive attitude, always positive, said, we can do this. We're just going to sell everything we have out here. We're going to move into USC. I'm going to work during the day. You're going to go to school, and we can do it. And we did. And I got accepted to SC, and Andy got a job with Gray Bar Electric downtown in Los Angeles. And within a couple of weeks, someone said, hey, there's this great opening over here at George Young Electric. It's a really nice electric company, contractors, and I think you'd fit in. So he applied, He did a written examination, he did an oral examination, and the interesting thing is they came to our house. We lived in a little tiny one-room apartment near USC, $75 a month. They wanted to see the apartment, they wanted to visit with me, and they wanted to see our car. You know, we didn't ask questions in those days. If adults asked you to do something, you just did it. So Andy got the job, and 6 months later, we found ourselves at the annual holiday party, and we got to meet the executives from the company, and we got to meet Mr. George Young from George Young Electric, and it was a beautiful dinner dance and a posh hotel. And when came our time to say hello to him and meet him, I couldn't help but ask, Mr. Young, why did you have to look at our car? What was that all about when your staff came out from the Human Resource Department? He said, I'm so glad you asked. He said, I love this story, I love telling it, but very few people ask, why do we want to see the car? It's sort of a yardstick about you as a human, because especially at your age, your car is the most expensive thing that you own. And if you're not taking care of it, our question is, how would you take care of our customers? How would you take care of each other as co-employees? How would you take care of the nice office equipment and things we have? So it's not the only thing we look at, but it's an important factor about you as a human. So I'm not just talking about a dusty car that needs to go to the car wash. I'm talking about a car that's got all kinds of trash in it, the body is in bad condition because they haven't cared for it. So we chuckled about that, and Andy and I visited about it, and then 10 years later, we owned Rapattoni Corporation. We started this company, and at first it was just one desk and two phones, and Andy and I. But when we started hiring people, we were hiring college students part-time. And you know, over the course of 10 years, 15 years, then 30 years, and now 50 years, we have had over 1,000 people interview for a job and come through Rapattoni Corporation. So we've met lots of people. And I have to say, on those first few interviews, I thought of George Young Electric and take a look at the car. So it's something that I've always done. I watch when the interview is going to drive up. I can see their car. Sometimes I just walk them out to the car at the end of the interview so I can visit with them. And it's interesting how much your car says about you. So the important thing is it's like making your bed. If you take care of your car, you're taking care of something very valuable, and you're going to continue to take care of other things that are valuable, such as your family, that spouse, that mother of yours, whatever. So now, you're going to make your bed, and you're going to wash your car. The next thing I want to talk to you about is something that's just a personal thing that Andy and I feel is extremely important in your life. Learn to say thank you. And I don't mean learn to say no problem. I mean to say thank you. Thank you means I am grateful for whatever you just gave me, the influence you had in my life, for being in my life, for what we just talked about, for the project we just worked on, whatever it may be. Learn to say thank you to your parents. They have done a great deal to help you get to where you are today, and parenting is one of the most wonderful jobs in the world, but it also seems not quite as rewarding as we would want it to be. Say thank you. Say thank you to your siblings. I know you probably fight like crazy with your brothers and sisters, but say thank you to them. They're in your life, they're your family. Say thank you to your teachers. Oh boy, you're not going to go see those teachers again most likely, so you're going to have to write a note to them. And you probably haven't had many great teachers, that's just life. But the ones that you've had that influenced you, that made you think about the future, that offered you something you hadn't thought of, send them a note of appreciation. And do that with the rest of the teachers going forward. When I went to USC, and I was so honored to go, I really felt sorry for myself. I had to have gone to 2 years of junior college first. All my friends were going off to universities. Oh, but my gosh, what those teachers at junior college did for me was miraculous. I would not have done the outstanding job that I did at SC if it hadn't been for them. So when I graduated, I took a day off, came out during the school year, and I went back and I thanked those high school teachers, the few that I just loved, and I thanked those college teachers from Chaffey College. You know, it was amazing, their reaction, because they said they were truly dedicated and have always been dedicated to influencing and helping young people. And very rarely do they get a thank you. And because I thanked them, An interesting thing happened with our life. They wanted to know, what are you doing now? Where are you going? How do you like being a dental hygienist? And on, just questions about me and where I was going. And what it did, it put a sense of responsibility on me to even succeed more for them, to make their dream go the next step. I kept in touch with those people till they passed away. And I always got thank yous back from them. So remember to say thank you. Okay, now you're going to make the bed, you're going to wash the car, and you're going to learn how to say thank you. The next thing is this job thing. Okay, you probably don't know what you're going to do right now. The pandemic has turned your life upside down. But I'm going to tell you that the jobs that you have, no matter what they are extremely important because they are your resume for your life. If you were planning to go on to college, I really suggest you take some additional classes right now online. Just continue your education in some way. If you weren't planning to go on to college, think about what you can do to improve where you are today. Get busy. Get busy at home. I know you've been told this, but busy is really good. But the physical jobs that you will take when everything begins to turn around and the job market opens up again, it's going to be extremely important that whatever you do, I don't care whether you're flipping hamburgers in the Burger King or you're assisting in a beauty shop or you're picking up nails in a construction site, whatever it is, tell yourself someday you're going to own this company and do the job to the absolute best of your ability. Find out not only about what you're doing, but the guy next to you and what that person is doing. Find out what that woman in the kitchen is doing. Whatever it is, expand your own resume with every single job and do every single job to the absolute best of your ability. So you're going to make the bed, you're going to wash the car, you're going to learn to say thank you, and you're going to take all your jobs seriously. This one is a really important one about being positive. I mentioned about Andy's "From every adversity comes the seed of a greater benefit." Being a positive person, you are going to have positive people gravitate towards you. If you're negative, you're going to have negative people gravitate towards you. There's always those people who like to complain about their job, complain about the government, complain about the weather, complain they don't have an expensive car, complain about their spouse, complain about their kids, and their whole world is complaints. And every one of those people suffer from a great deal of illnesses as a result of complaining. It affects your health. People that are positive, on the other hand, are always looking at the glass half full, not the glass half empty. My husband was the most positive person I have ever known. He lived by that slogan, "From every adversity comes the seed of a greater benefit." And it really started in his life very young. I had gone to 12 different schools before I started to Chafee. Andy grew up and lived in the same house until we got married. So we came from two different kinds of cultures. My background was from a very dysfunctional family. His background was from a very warm and loving Italian family. So we graduate from high school, Andy does. I still have my last year's school to go. It's summer of 1957. Andy came home from the work job that he had for lunch. His dad came home. His dad had an electrical contracting business that he ran out of the garage in the back. They remember having a nice lunch together and laughing, and as usual had a pasta lunch. And at the end of the lunch, Andy's dad, who was 47 years of age, got up and started towards the back door to get something out of the garage before he went back on the job. And he had a massive heart attack and died right there in the house. That was huge. Andy was 17. He had a 13-year-old sister. His brother, who was 4 years older, was in San Jose State but had been drafted into the Army. So Andy was going to be in charge. I never once heard him say that he felt sorry for himself, that he was angry. All he said was, "We can do this." And we did. We had to meet with the bank and decide how to dissolve the family business, teach his mother how to drive, teach her how to write a check, all of the things that you can imagine. Years later, I heard Andy say many times, and he actually said it in that graduation speech in 2010, when his father died, it was the worst day of his life. The next day was the beginning of the best days of his life, because he was forced to do things that he would have never, ever had to do which put him in a position to someday start his own business and run Rapattoni Corporation. So from every adversity comes the seed of a greater advantage. Try and be positive. Laughter is so much more fun than crying. And I've always lived by whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Okay, so you've got a list of things from us. At 80 years of age, I could go on for another hour or two, but that's enough to tell you about today and to tell you how special you are. You kids got to go through Chaffee High School. Take a look at this school. It is unique, 65-acre campus. It used to be part of USC School of Agriculture. It's got a long, beautiful history. And you're a tiger at Chaffee Tiger. So once a tiger, always a tiger, and no matter what you do, go out there and make it great. Thank you.